Hey everyone, it's Armor Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a monster analysis on the brand new cosmic monster, Zuperfox. And for those of you that are not aware, yes, this is a tribute to our old community manager, Fox. So with that said, this monster better be OP. Zuperfox was Ilian's counterpart on the other side of the portal. She showed up for every good soul that was lost or in need of help. But one day, she stopped hearing helpless voices. She understood that her job was done. The time had come for her to live her own adventures, so she crossed the cosmic portal and entered the world of monster legends. Her instinct has taken her to the mountain region of this new universe, where it's a bit too cold for her, but she's a tough fighter. As long as she has her cozy scarf and her hot tea, she'll be fine. And that is Zuperfox lore. Alright, so let's see. Is this monster going to be OP? Zuperfox is a light attacker with pierce skills. She can gain boost and deal extremely high damage even if she has to put herself at risk. She can also apply Sunburn to all enemies. Zuperfox has an evolving trait. At rank 0 she's immune to blind, at rank 1 she becomes immune to nightmares, and at rank 3 she gains pierce at the start of the battle. We have ourselves another pierce monster. It's funny, when I saw this monster, I was joking that it would be such a cool thing if this monster had an ultimate attack or a skill like Banhammer automatically kills you, you know, like community-oriented skills, and looking through the names, some of them are. Alright, with that being said, let me think. The immune to blind and nightmares, to me that just screams that this is a counter to Vampirostro, who is one of the meta monsters in the game. Not to mention that this monster is a light attacker, so you're taking on the dark meta. So Zuperfox is here to help us out against all those dark monsters. Is she going to be able to OTK the Lindworms, the Vampirostros? We're going to have to see, right? Can she deal a massive amount of damage against Shelly? Maybe she has a powerful AoE skill, and maybe when you don't have the pierce, you can use that to kill Shellys. So let's see. So yeah, blind and nightmares, that to me that screams Vampirostro counter. We have that self pierce. Relics, we have a mask and a sword, which can just increase your power output, especially with equipping a laser beam sword on this monster. Mask can increase your survivability. Books is female, good legions, and a family. And let's talk stats. Ooh, look at that life stat, 67, 559. That is a super low life stat. It's actually the lowest in the game, tied with 3 other monsters. I think it's 4 other monsters now. It's Steamwrath, Spitfire, Robo-Elf, and Lord Platypus. They all have the exact same life stat. Now here's the thing. Spitfire, Robo-Elf, and Lord Platypus, all of them can hold a revival essence. So if they die, they come back to life. The same cannot be said for Zuperfox. If she dies, well, she's pretty much dead. All she has is a mask and sword relic, so you're going to have to be really careful with this monster. She is pretty squishy. And it's funny because the very first cosmic monster that was released was Vanoss 2099, another pierce monster, and he's metal, so he actually has an elemental advantage against Zuperfox. So watch out for those Vanoss bases. Alright, so we have that extremely low life stat. The power stat is tied with several other monsters, Teddy VR, Oxomech, Vanoss 2099, Heist, and Rosulka. Notice I mentioned 2 other pierce monsters, Vanoss and Rosulka, so exact same power stats. And as for the speed stat, a bunch of monsters have the speed stat as well, and 2 of those monsters that have that speed stat are also Vanoss and Rosulka. So currently in the game, the 3 pierce monsters have the exact same power and speed stat. The only thing that really differs is the life stat, with this monster being the squishiest of the bunch. Alright, let's see what else this monster has. So let's look at skills. Be Kind deals moderate light damage to an enemy. It is 40 damage, 0 cooldown, 22 stamina cost. So if you get hit with CDA, you have a skill you can utilize. Once again, if you have this monster at rank 3, and you were to do this against a Vampirostro or against a Lindworm, for example, you would actually be dealing 60 damage, and you'd have a 0 cooldown skill. For those situations where maybe you do face a Lindworm that removes your Megatons, and then a Kodama drains your stamina. Well, I mean, Kodama would activate your cooldowns and drain stamina, but maybe you can have another monster give you stamina, then you can still do 60 damage, straight direct damage to that monster. So, pretty useful. Could be pretty useful against those dark monsters. We have Warm Scarf, applies pierce and damage boost to itself. It's just a self buff skill. The damage boost could help out deal extra damage. The only way to utilize a skill like this would be to turn transfer back into this monster. Also useful if you were to get possessed or corrupted. You know, there's a chance the AI could just give itself the buff. Gamer Fox applies pierce to itself, deals moderate light damage to an enemy, applies sunburn to an enemy, removes pierce from itself. So it follows that same mechanic that we saw a lot with Vastas. I think Vanoss also has one skill that removes the pierce. So basically, even if you don't have this monster at rank 3, there is a way to give yourself Pierce and Attack. So light damage, and it applies a dot. Now this could be even more so extremely useful against the likes of a Lindworm, because the thing about Lindworm is if he dies, he can resurrect. Same with Shelly. Well, we don't need to worry about Shelly, I guess, she has Megatons. But Lindworm, the best way to kill Lindworm would be if you deal enough damage to where then the Sunburn kills him, so when he does resurrect, his turn would skip. So that could be a pretty interesting mechanic there. We have Raider Mode, applies triple damage to itself for 1 turn, and vulnerable to itself, requires cooldown. So, I'm assuming this monster is going to have some sort of AoE. Yeah, the next skill, Calm Waters, deals moderate light damage, applies daze to all enemies. So, oh, that's interesting. That's basically Vanoss has an AoE daze skill as well. So, I wonder who's the stronger. I'd have to check the monster sheet. Is Vanoss's daze skill the 30 damage, or is his other skill the 35 damage? Alright, so AoE daze is nice, right? You reduce accuracy on everyone by 25% and even reduce damage output. I can't tell you how many times Vanoss landed the daze and then my next attacks miss. Like that just 25% chance accuracy reduction sucks so much. But going back to Raider Mode, the fact that this monster can triple damage, if you can triple damage, turn transfer into this monster, and then Calm the Waters, that is going to deal so much damage. And going back to the fact that this is a light monster, even if you face a Shelly and you're not at rank 3, you don't have Pierce, maybe the enemy went first, got rid of your Pierce, hey, that's fine. You still have a light base attack against a Shelly base on a 1-turn cooldown. That's pretty powerful in itself. Tomato Power, love the name. Applies Pierce to itself, deals very heavy light damage, and removes Pierce. So this is a 60 damage attack, very powerful attack, so no Sunburn, no dot or anything. Against a Dark monster, this is 90 damage. So this is your OTK skill right here. Yeah, the Lindworm, the Fompidostals, those dark meta monsters, they have to beware. So from the perspective of you getting this monster and taking on, for example, a Megaton base, yeah, let's say you're taking a Megaton, someone with Megaton, Fompidostral, or even better, even like, if they have like a Hardy, for example, the fact that you can just pierce directly and just try to OTK that Hardy, like that can be pretty useful. So I can definitely see this monster being used. Is this monster going to replace Vanoss on defense? I don't know. It's gonna maybe, right? Because there is a lot of dark monsters that are meta that players use on offense. So maybe this would be a good defense monster. Are players gonna start using double pierce on defense with a single Megaton? I don't know. Let's see what else we have. Light Them Up. Another AoE skill. Yeah, this is 40 damage. 40 damage AoE that does Sunburn. Fantastic ultimate right here. So, if you are not rank 3 or if your Pierce was removed, this is against a Shelly. This is 60 damage times 3. This is 180 damage. On top of that, it is a Sunburn. If you have your Pierce, it is a 40 damage AoE across the board, and you apply Sunburn to everyone. So, can you imagine you're battling a Shelly, Fompidostral, Lindworm? You do Light Them Up, it's 60 damage to all 3 of them, and Sunburn. So there's a chance Lindworm dies and resurrects. Fompidostral is probably going to die, especially if she does her extra turn skills. Man, this is awesome. I gotta say, I really like the monsters. I've been pretty vocal about me not being a fan of Vanoss, and I'm still honestly not a fan of Vanoss. I still think same level. It's like, whatever. Like, the biggest Megaton, one of the biggest Megaton monsters, Bombeta, it just so happens that, yes, Vanoss has an elemental advantage, but when he has his Pierce skill, I never have to worry about my Bombeta dying because Vanoss just blasts my whole entire team. So even when I fought ones that have like 3 strength runes, he doesn't OTK my team. So I've never really worried too much about him, and then with the current meta right now, Fompidostral being able to do Spooky, Reaper, Spooky, and then Total Blind him, he's never been a threat. But using this monster, and considering Dark Monster meta, I'm like, I think I'm gonna really like this monster. Yeah, the 40 damage AoE Sunburn, the 60 damage single targets, even the 40 damage Sunburn, the triple damage, I don't really see myself using it unless there's a specific combo that I'm like, oh, I can pull this off. Yeah, I'd have to. Well, then again, like, can you imagine doing Raider Mode? Like, setting up Raider Mode, then turn transferring into this monster, and then doing Light Them Up? Man, especially because if you're at rank 3, you have that self-pierce at the start of the battle. Like, you can definitely... Look, it's Fox. Fox commented. Yeah, like, there's definitely potential for it. So, as much as I'm not a fan of soft skills, maybe with this monster, being a Pierce monster, and then having Light Them Up being such a powerful skill, I might consider it in my skill set. But I think right now, I would probably go with Light Them Up, Tomato Power, Calm the Waters, the AoE daze is nice, and I'd probably do Gamer Fox. Yeah, I honestly don't think I'd run Be Kind as a main skill. Yeah, there's always a thing of like, oh, I might get hit with CDA, but I think specifically for PvP, if I thought that was the issue, I would substitute Be Kind for one of the other skills. For Team Wars, you know, you'd never really need a 0 cooldown skill unless you see a monster that can activate your cooldowns. But yeah, I think that would be at tier 3 and essentially Calm the Waters and GamerFox. Just because I do like that ability to win with a Sunburn. But then again, like, it's funny because at rank 3, GamerFox and Light Them Up are doing the same damage, and they're essentially doing the same thing, right? You're doing the Sunburn. But GamerFox, I guess it's nice because it applies a Pierce, but it removes it. Oh my gosh, I like it. I like the monster a lot. Super Community applies Pierce to itself, deals heavy light damage, here being 50 and stun to everyone, so it's a way to deny with the ultimates. Yeah, I think the skill set, in terms of all the Pierce monsters, I wasn't a huge fan of Rosulka, but I think it's just the fact, I swear I'm not biased because it's based on Fox, I think it's the fact that the meta is dark, and just seeing the potential damage output on being able to single target a Fomp and OTK here with that 60 damage skill, that's nice, or potentially even doing Light Them Up and OTKing a Lindworm and a Fomp like at once, that's pretty cool in my opinion. So I think this is going to be a pretty good monster. I think this monster might actually replace Vanoss on defense. So I really want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this monster? What do you think about everything? Her trait, her relics, any not thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Really looking forward to hearing your guys' opinions and really looking forward to testing this monster. So please make sure to check out the channel and be on the lookout for that exclusive first look. Thank you guys very much and remember to subscribe.